Vande Gujarat.
Hello everyone. Welcome to another episode of Lingua English Business Preparation Program. So today we are going to do so many wonder with our listening skills, how we can improve it, what tips, what techniques, some examples which will help you to have better understanding that how words are used in your real business English conversation, which kind of words are there, how they are used, what is their context, and so many learning. So I hope you all are ready. So let's move forward. So I'll make you understand that how understanding business vocabulary is very much important. Because why we are giving this exam? Because we want to understand that what kind of business words are there, how these business words are used, in what context are used. In module 1, when I was giving you a tip number 10, which was try to focus more on the business vocabulary. So candidates, today we are going to talk about some of the most important business vocabulary which are used in business English conversations. So the very first is participate. It's very formal words, very formal. Are you going to participate in the meeting? I'm going to participate in the event. So it's commonly used business English vocabulary. Next word is negotiate. Are you familiar about this word? I think this is something which is most spoken and the people are quite aware about this. Negotiate. Are you going to negotiate this deal with me? Oh, I sent my manager to negotiate with the branch manager of the company as he was thinking to branch out his company. So this is again negotiate. Agenda. Very common word. We are listening it in our daily life. So agenda is something which is about a list of items, the list of activities we are going to do it. For example, what is your agenda for tomorrow? Oh, I'm going to have my breakfast at 10 o'clock and I'm going to leave for my meeting. Then I'm going to meet my second client. Then I'm going to meet my prospect client. Then I'm going to arrange a meeting for my staffs. So all this is agenda. The list of activities which you are going to do on your official record, that is your agenda. Advantages, something beneficial for you. Authentic, something which is quite genuine, something which is quite real. So that is known as authentic. Next is estimate. Estimate is when you are thinking that what is the approximate cost of something. Incentive. Incentive means, for example, apart from the salary, when you are paid an additional perks, so that is known as your incentive. Next is process. Process is a quite easy word. For example, what is the process to enroll myself in this course? So it's a step-by-step procedure that turns to process. Schedule. Schedule means your timetable. Structure means a kind of format. So understanding the business vocabulary is going to help you understand English into various dimensions. How English is used, how it has been used in different places. And if you make yourself familiar with these English vocabulary, business vocabulary, then you will be having a sense of satisfaction. Oh, I have done this. I have read this. I have understood all the key points. And then learning becomes quite easy. Listening becomes quite easy because once you're aware about the words, you can do it, you can make it out very easily. Now, there are some more words. These are some of the advanced business expressions which I'm sharing here. Merger, when two companies are getting merged, then that is merger. Inflation, when the product of certain goods or services are increasing, and the value of money is decreasing, that's known as inflation. You can say inflation. Many of the candidates lost their job because of inflation. Lucrative, something which is profitable. Oh, I want to set up my own company where I want to deal with some kind of quality goods or quality products which can give me some lucrative outcome. Trademark. Trademark is a kind of symbol or a sign which your company is using. asset. On a balance sheet, when all the profit, all your calculations are there, then that is known as your asset. Collaborate when you collaborate with the team. And next word is multinational. Multinational means if one company is having its branches with the other company, then that is known as multinational. Budget is something, a fixed kind of thing where this is my budget. What is the budget for this annual meeting? Revenue means something which you are collecting it from the people. Revenue department is there. Deadline, a kind of debt is when set, and then you have been told that you have to go with the deadline. Creditors, when people are crediting your money into your accounts, and who are my recent creditors. So all these will understand your business vocabulary, and its understanding is really going to help you out. There are more some business vocabulary. You must be aware about all these business vocabulary, because listening to these business vocabularies itself an understanding and in what context they have been used. For example, tycoon, someone who is a very famous, has got good achievements in his life, then that person is tycoon. Oh, he is a business tycoon. Stakeholder, when a person is having some shares of your company, some possessions in a company, then that becomes stakeholder. Administrator, when any individual is dealing in the business of something, then that is known as your administrator. Next is penalty. Penalty, for example, I'm giving you a kind of fine for something which is not done, or if you are not submitting something on time, then you have to pay a penalty for that. Agenda, a list of activities on record which you are doing it for your purpose. Next is capitalist. Capitalist, the capital people who are having their capital, they are known as capitalist. Coordinator, one is coordinating when there's an event coordinator, there's a program coordinator where they're coordinating with something, then that is known as coordinator. Senior manager, oh, he's a senior manager of my company. Proprietor, that means ownership of the person. Entrepreneur, that means one who is investing something and he's coming with his own startups or something like that. So this is known as entrepreneur. I would like to revise all these words again for you. It's tycoon, stakeholder, administrator, penalty, agenda, capitalist, coordinator, senior manager, proprietor, entrepreneur. So all these words, when you listen to the first time with the correct pronunciation, you must be familiar that how these words play a very important role in our business English. Business English vocabulary really helps you to understand that how words are used in the business context. Let us explore something more. So I'm going to understand this. I'm going to read out this text, but you're listening to me, right? Even though I'm reading it out, but you are listening to me, right? This is a scripted listening task, okay? Business English vocabulary, sample listening. I would repeat it again. It's Business English vocabulary, sample listening. So I'm reading it out and you have to listen to it very attentively, I hope. So here I begin. Listen to it. Even though it's scripted, you have to listen to it very attentively. Mr. Chris came up with an idea for a commercial for his new product, and he was sure his marketing team would look into it. He called a meeting at the headquarters, and complete authorization was given to marketing team to work on it. The marketing team did a market research to understand customers' need and demands. The team was ready with the sample commercials and presented it to Mr. Chris. I hope you would have understood, but I would repeat it again to you so that I can mark here the business vocabulary. Mr. Chris came up with a business idea for a commercial for his new product, and he was sure his marketing team would look into it. He called the meeting at the headquarters and complete authorization was given to the marketing team to work on it. The marketing team did a market research to understand customers' needs and demands. The team was ready with a sample commercial and presented it to Mr. Chris. So, dear team, you can see that how important it is to understand this business vocabulary, and you can see that so many business vocabulary. For the very first example is commercial, right? Marketing team, headquarters, authorization, marketing team, market research, need, demand, sample, commercials. So all these words are from the business vocabulary. The purpose I showed you this listening, this was a scripted document where I was reading you and I was reading the script and you were listening to it, and at the same time we were just seeing that how these words are being used in our real life situation. So how commercial, product, marketing team, authorization, work on it, market research, understand customer needs and demands. The team was ready with the sample commercials and presented it to Ms. Chris. So, understanding of the text is very important. So, candidates, I'm sure that with this understanding, you will be able to understand business English vocabulary with much more confidence, and it will help you to bring the best. So, how I have used the words in the right context can really help you to understand that how business English vocabulary can do wonders in your real life conversations. So, I'm going to explore all the other parts, so let us move. Here, I have marked this all words in blue so that you can understand how business English vocabulary are taken into consideration. So, you can have a look for it for 1 minute. So, candidates, now the time has come when we have to come up with these all the things at one place. So, the candidates, I can see that these business vocabulary are really going to help you out. You can see commercials, authorization, headquarters, market research, all this business English vocabulary will help you. These are the vocabulary when you can see that how they are used in your real life business English conversations. Let's move ahead. Mr. Chris was happy with the commercial. This is the second extended part, right? So I'm reading it. I'll read it twice so that you can have better understanding. So Mr. Chris was happy with the commercials and he inquired about the estimated cost of it. The team told it is about to be $100 as it will include dress codes, visuals, public relation activities. Entire team reached to a consensus. Chris was concerned about his competitors. The team told, we are going to organize it very well under proper guidance. So, dear candidates, how you can see that I have explained so many words to you and how these words are used in business English listening. So, this is a scripted format where I showed you part 1. This is an extended series of the part 2 of this business conversation. So here, Mr. Chris was happy with the commercials and inquired about the estimated cost of it. The team told it is about to be $100 as it will include dress codes, visual aids, public relation activities. Entire team reached to a consensus. Chris was concerned about his competitors. The team told we are going to organize it very well under proper guidance. Now I'm giving you 10 seconds of time. Just go through it. Just go through this sample. I'm giving you 10 seconds of time. If you go through this sample, you will get to know that how business English words are used in the real life conversation. How they are used in every form. You can see, try to understand it, that how this has been used. So, I hope you have gone through, you have seen that what is there, what visual words are there, what business words are there. So, I'm going to highlight it in my next slide. So, you can see we have learned so many words. I explained you the meaning of all these words. Estimated means approximately. Dress codes, a kind of dress. Visual aids, public relation activities, consensus, right? After that, competitors. Final opinion, that is consensus and competitors. So, how the purposes, how these English, business English words are used in your real life, you should have to understand its understanding from the business aspect, from the professional point of view, from the formal language uses. Two languages are there. We are using something. We are saying a certain things to my family friend. I will say it another way. But the same thing I'm going to refer it to my mother. So going to refer it to my boss or my colleague. I will say it in a different way. So understanding of the keywords are very, very much important. And that's why it becomes very much important for us to understand these keywords in a very easy way. So, understanding the keywords plays a very important role in our day to day conversation. And if you understand these keywords, it will help you to come out with a good understanding of vocabulary. Understanding keywords can help you to understand. So, these are the keywords because we are knowing it, that estimated, dress code, visuals, we are understanding it. Now, again, I'm going to give some understandings of some business English vocabulary. So, the very first word is commercials. What is commercials? So, a paid advertisement on a radio or a television, that is your commercials. We basically call it advertisement from but business point of aspect, which is commercials. Headquarters. Headquarters is your head office where company is controlled or managed. So, we always say head office, but in business English, it is called headquarters. Authorization. We always say control. But the correct business English word is your authorization to give someone legal or official control. Right? Next is market research. Research in market from customers to understand their needs. So research is something when you are conducting a survey, you're getting an opinion poll, and so you are understanding that what the customer wants. So dress code is something official clothing at work. So dear candidates, you can understand that how these words are being used in your business English conversation, and that makes understanding so easy. So understanding business English vocabulary will help you to see the words, how they are used in the correct business format. And in your real life, when you will start working and you will go in the offices, you can experience that how people every second, every minute, when you are interacting with your clients, when you are signing a deal, when you are going for a documentation work, for all the aspect, you require something that is your business English. So to have a better rapport with the friends, to have better understandings with your colleagues, you must be tuned it with the listening, because they are telling something to you, and if you are not understanding that what is the real essence, then you fail to understand it. So listening is the key. Listening gives you correctness, listening gives you clarity, listening gives you the keywords, listening gives you the content words, and with listening you are coming with so many good things. So listening will give you the knowledge of the content, the aspect, the direction where anything is going on. So every time when you listen to something, you listen it with meaning, you listen with the clarity. So with these business English word, my intention was sure that you must have understood that how we use it, how we are going to implement it in our daily life, how we are going to use it from all the aspects, how we are going to select it in the right context, how we are going to paraphrase it, and so many techniques. So dear candidates, let's move ahead with our next topic. Now, I'm just focusing again with some of the vocabulary which I used. So estimate is your general idea about the value, cost or size. Again is your visual aids. As example, things like charts, pictures, maps that makes easier for the audience to understand something. Yes. So understanding something is very, very much important. Consensus. Consensus refers to an idea or opinion that been agreed by everyone. So the group must reach to a consensus. You can make it, you can explore it. Competitor. Who is a competitor? Competitor refers to another business that is trying to perform better than your business, others in the same market. So who is your competitor? Who is your competitor in the market? So these are all your competitors. They are going to come in the market and I have to compete with them. So with similarly these business English words will help you to have better understanding. Now I'm going to talk something which is very important, how listening professional business English expressions. Yes, in general English we speak in some way and in professional English we speak another way. So there should be a clarity that how we are listening in general English and how we are listening to business English expression. So in our real life everyday English we are using all the formal words, but in business English we have to make it sound little bit more formal. So a level of formality has to be achieved, and if you do so you will get more confidence, you will get up more with clarity. So I always want that the candidates should always try to frame better sentences with better English words, with better proficiency, right? And framing will happen once you start listening. Once you start listening with all these business English expressions used in the official context. So here I have worked on few of the expressions. So let's see what are they and we'll try to see how they work. The very first is, I think it's time that we can talk about our budget cuts. It's a normal English expression. I think it's time that we can talk about business cuts. These are the normal English expressions. Now, if it is the same sentence, it is being told in a professional way, then how will say? I think it's time that we can address the issue of budget cuts. Talk about budget cuts changes to address the issue of budget cuts. So this is how the level of formality changes from general English to business English. It's all how the expressions are changing. We are changing from one level to other level. We are bringing more professionalism in our sentences. We try that every sentence should bring with a certain level of professionalism inside it. There is always a scope of improvisation in whatever you are saying when it comes to business English. You try to butter it up. Butter it up means you try to bring the best, good uses of vocabulary, right sentence structure. So that is. Now I'm going to talk about my second example. What are the main problems you're having in your department? Now, here again we are talking that what are the main problems you're having in your department. What are the main problems you're having in your department? That can be changed to what are the pain points in your department? I hope you understand it. So we can say, what are the pain points in your department? What are the main points you're having in your department? That changes to what are the pain points in your department? So main point changes to pain points. Next is, what can I do to start the Japan project? It's a very common word, and then we can just talk in this way. What can I do to get the ball rolling on the Japan project? What can I do? Get the ball rolling. So this is a very, useful expressions, because these are some of the natural expressions which we are using it in our business English professions, right? So what can I do to get the ball rolling on the Japan project? So all these expressions are really going to help you out. We are really going to talk in what context we are going to understand this. So every time when you are coming with a word, every time when you come across a word, when you are talking about the words, but is there any other way that we can make it sound more formal? Think about it. Think about it. That can we better it up every time? We can make more changes. So when you listen something, okay, can you think that we can make more? We can polish it more. So that is the sense which you are listening, listen to such kind of business expressions. Whenever you will hear a business talk, a business meeting, think for such kind of situations. So, this is one thing I would like you all to do. I'm going to now focus on a very important aspect. I would like that each one of you should start following these listening techniques from today onwards, from the tight. I hope many of you are following too, but still, if you haven't started with, just try to follow these listening techniques. And I'm sure if you'll follow these listening techniques, I'm sure you will do wonders in your life. So, here I begin with first is mindset and motivation. If you want to become a better listener, you have to come with mindset, a positive mindset and a motivation. I would always say that if you want to be a good listener, then there should always be a positive mindset. You have to be a self motivator that I have to listen something. And it's not just listening for the sake of listening. You have to listen with proper effort, with proper patience. Effort and patience. When you are listening, you are putting effort of something. Listening is something which needs a lot of efforts. So listening with effort is very, very much important. And at the same time, you have to also listen for patience. Try to understand it. Try to understand that how patience is very, very much important. At the same time, consistency is the key. Consistency. Consistency means something which you do on a regular basis. It's not like one on weekdays you are listening, on the other days you are just not listening. It should not be like that. Consistency is the key. The more you are listening, the ears are tuned to it, you can understand it better. So I always say that listening is the key. You have to be a better listener at every aspect of time. I have seen people that sometimes candidates complain, oh, I'm trying to listen, but it's going too fast. Okay, sometimes it happens that you're not understanding the listening aspect in one time. It's okay because you have not listened since the beginning. So I would advise in that case you listen once, you listen twice, thrice, 4 times, 5 times, but a stage will come when you will start noticing those phrases, those business expressions, those words, everything, and in all those contexts. If you are a beginner, you listen to the scripted form, the way I have showed you on the earlier slide about Mr. Chris format. So, if you are beginner, check your level, go for scripted form, listen them, practice them, listen them twice, thrice. Every time you will listen, you will get something new coming out. So, understanding of the words are very much important, and listening requires motivation, and you have to motivate yourself first. So, let's move to our next step. Next is you have to go for meaning listening. I would say meaningful listening, because choose the topics you enjoy. Maybe you don't want to listen to a business talk because you're a beginner. It's okay. It's okay, because your prior importance is that your ear should be tuned with the native speakers. So, choose topics that you enjoy. Maybe you're enjoying a business talk. It's okay. Maybe you're enjoying a marketing strategy has been discussed. You go that. Maybe you're just going for a sales meeting. You go for that. So, you will get much more of your whole experience. So, I would always advise that our listening should be meaningful. Because you're listening to a cricket commentary and you're enjoying it, that sounds better. But here, the aspect is listen something meaningful, listen something which is coming beautifully in your mind. Don't listen with pain, listen with meaning. Try to bring out the real sense that what is being spoken about. So, always go for meaningful listening. It will bring so much value in your conversation. It will bring so much things, and your listening skills are going to improve drastically. I would really want to speak on this, that I personally feel that sometimes people feel that, oh, My priority is to improve my speaking skills. My priority is to improve my writing skills, reading skills. And sometimes there are candidates who forget about listening. But everything goes side by side. I think listening English should be your priority. It has something which you have to be very good at. You have to understand that how listening can become your priority, can help you in all the aspects of your life. If you are listening in your business environment, if you are a very good listener, then you can have better relationship with your candidates, with your clients. So I would advise you should always schedule a time with yourself. Because listening is something that you cannot delegate this work to somebody. It's your domain. It's your area. You have to be occupied with it. I personally feel that. Nobody else can do listening for you. It's you who have to do it for yourself. So it's your area. You have to bring it. You have to think that what I have to do so that I can bring the best in my listening aspect. So you have to prioritize a time. You have to schedule a time for it. Even in the beginning, if you are doing it for a few minutes, it's okay. But it has to be, it has to be very much consistent. Consistency is the key in all aspects. So don't keep it on last. I must say, listening should be a priority because you remember I told you in the beginning of the first module that when a child is born, how he is picking up the language, how the mind is picking up the language. Have you ever noticed? It's all starts from listening. And where it will start? It will start from within. When you will start listening, when you start exploring it from within, then only the knowledge of English can be understood. So please try to keep it listening on your top priority list, and then only you can get success with it. Without it, what will happen? You will feel, you're focusing on writing, reading, speaking, but listener. It should be on a top priority because that is from where the language starts. So you have to be very much, honest about it that I have to listen. I have to keep on listening something on the other day. Even you are busy, then you have to prioritize a schedule for listening. Right? So let's move about our next topic of listening. And yes, you have to stick to the listening part. I always want people that nobody is going, because you are your own evaluator, you are your own motivator. So every time when you are listening to a part of a conversation or anything, reward yourself for honestly made progress. So suppose you have listened something for 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours with full honesty. Don't you think it's a time to reward yourself? Because it's you are your self-motivator, you are your evaluator. You must have felt some of the changes inside you when you were listening to something. So it's always a good idea that we should reward ourselves, right? So pick up something anywhere. You are having so much source you can browse beautiful things where you can listen to something, you work on it, and after that what you will do, you will just listen to it. If you want to listen to a podcast, that is also a very nice thing. You can listen to podcasts, you can listen to movies, you can listen to a dialogue, documentary, whatever comes to you, whatever is easily accessible to you. So you can make things work on that. So at the time when you are achieving, suppose this week your target was, I'm going to listen something of 2 hours, okay? 2 hours successfully completed. Now give a reward to you. Give a reward to you when you achieve your listening targets. When you achieve your listening targets, you yourself will feel so much of motivated. Oh, I have done this. For next week, increase this target from 2 hours to 3 hours. Again next week, 4 hours. So now your patience level will increase gradually. It's something which is not happening. It will not happen in one day. Your patience level will improve gradually, and this is how it has to be done. So patience level will improve gradually. You will be becoming very good listener. So rewarding is a very nice technique. I do reward when I learn some vocabulary. Reward yourself in all aspects. Reward yourself when you have learned 50 vocabulary, 15 business vocabulary. Reward yourself when you have learned 50 antonyms, 50 synonyms. It's okay, na? It will bring the best in you. So this is what you have to do. Reward yourself. Let's move to our next motivation. Next is, yes, I also believe on this, that practice makes you perfect. Yes. So I have seen people that they are struggling of some of the words. They are not, there are so many filler words. They are listening to a context and they said, oh ma'am, there are some parts which I was not understood by me. So I just told they are the fillers which you are not understanding. So I personally advise them that when you are listening to those words, and there are some filler words coming out, you just try to leave them blank. Listen them twice, play them again, and just see that what were the filler words. And I am sure when you will listen to these listenings again and again, the filler words which you are not listening, they will drop down. The number will decrease because here you were practicing a lot. So it was a practice which was making you perfect. So I always find listen vocabulary into context is a meaningful way to remember words. So anyway, you are listening to something, but also listen to the context. For example, paucity. I just encountered a word paucity, Paucity. And if I say the manager was talking about this word paucity, but in what context he was talking about this word? Oh, the manager was calling me and he was talking that there's a paucity of resources in his administrative office. So I just see paucity of resources, paucity of time, paucity of money. So whenever you are referring or learning a word, listening to a word in its proper context, then that time the listening becomes very easy for you to understand. So always believe that practice makes things happen. Listen new business English words every day. Yes, this is something which is very very much important, because as you are preparing for this examination which is going to check whether you are the right candidate for this business world, whether you will be able to deal, negotiate, talk with the business client, then at that time, what is your priority? I'm not sure they are going to select you on that basis. Lots of business vocabulary words will help you. Lots of business dialogues, business communications, this will help you. So overall, there's one idea which is quite relevant, that practice makes a man perfect, right? So you try to practice, you try to bring more and more words, listen to more and more words, and when they will come into your dialogue practice, when they will come into your practice, then it is something which is going to help you in a great way. So practice makes you perfect. So please try to make it in your routine. Motivate yourself, reward yourself, and bring listening. Because I am giving you these motivations, because these motivations is only going to help you out in a long run. Patience, never lose your patience. People tell, oh, it has been so much, my ears are not tuned with this language, I feel so much of difficulty in its understanding this business English phrases, then these words, what should I do, how should I get on with? So I feel that once you develop this habit of listening to this text, listening to vocabulary, listening in with professional aspect, then obviously you will not feel such kind of things. So the purpose and the criteria is quite obvious, that here step by step you have to move step by step. It's not a matter of one day that we come, we listen, a piece, a dialogue, and our listening is. There is only one magic pill, and that magic pill is your self motivation. Self motivation is the magic pill which can help you to improve your listening skills. So, always go for self motivation. This self motivation will help you to understand words, to bring out with new ideas, to correlate with the words, to understand with the context, to be a better listener and to be an active listener, not a passive listener. Passive listener means once you're only listening to a part of the message. So that is not going to help you. So you have to become a passive, you have to become an active listener. Listen, each and every word uttered by the speaker must be clear to you in your mind. And then only we can achieve all the things. So let's move to our next part. Yes, this is something which is very much important. I personally feel that who can give you the correct feedback? Yes, I feel self evaluation. Yes, dear friends, I personally feel that in your mobile there must be a voice recorder option, right? So you play on that, you click on, you listen to something and you just listen to, and you whatever you have understood from that listening aspect, you try to record it. You try to record it in your own words, right? So this is a wonderful activity. You do it, you will feel very good about it. So here, this recording test will help you to show how familiar you are with the language. So once you record your voice, it shows that how familiar with you are with your familiarity of language English, and you are going to check your progress. So it's a progress checking activity. And when you will record something, you can identify the areas where you were lacking. So I would always warn my candidates that you should record yourself. Every day you listen to something, you record yourself and just compare that what were the words which are left in the conversation. Even you're telling it with paraphrase technique, that's okay. At least you are practicing. So that is the best way. To record yourself, make it happen, make it sure that you are using it with most of the good vocabulary. And if you use it in the most of the situation, it is going to be very much useful for you. So record yourself, evaluate yourself, be a self motivator, identify areas. Yes, I would like to focus it on again, because identifying the key areas, that suppose if you are listening to a conversation and suppose it's a 1 minute conversation, a 1 minute dialogue between two people, you are listening to it and then you are recording it for yourself. Maybe you are recording and then you are playing back and just see that what was the original source and what have you recorded. So once you compare it, you can check that, oh, I was not aware about this word, I missed this word, I missed this conversation. So what was that? So identifying the key areas will always help you. It will help you to evaluate your areas. Maybe in that conversation there were lots of phrasal verbs were used and you were not aware about it. Then at that time you will, oh, this is my key area. Or maybe you are just telling that I was not aware about the word. Then again you will tell it, oh, this was my weak area, so I have to work on it. So gradually you will, be thinking about all these things. So record yourself, self-evaluation. It will help you in the familiarity with English, and your progress has been checked and you identify your areas. So all these things are really going to help you out in the coming time, and this will definitely help you. So let's move ahead. Yes, this is something which is very, very much important. I really want that feedback in any conversation, in anything. If you are doing anything, if there is a mentor, if there is someone who is your guider, and if you are taking some kind of feedback from you, then he's accessing you something that, oh, you were very good for this part and you have to improve on your this part. then I'm sure it is going to boost up your morale, it's going to boost up your confidence. So I feel that once you are done with your listening, you make your recordings, make your recordings to your friends, to your colleagues, or anyone who is there, your teacher, anyone, or your, if nobody is there, then you are your self evaluator. But if there is a mentor, you can just show it to him that, see, I have, because you are doing your self study in this. I understand. You are digging all the information, you are doing so much of hard work into it. So it's your understanding overall. So I feel that if you have done so much of homework, if you have done, then if you ask somebody for a feedback, okay, how about my English? Or you can also take some sample tests which are there on the online sites of Linguaskill Business. So you can also go for that. So these test is something which is going to help you in your self evaluation. It is going to help you in your all aspects. So make sure self evaluation is always there, and make sure you do it yourself, or do it, take help from your friends, family, who is there, whosoever is very good listener in your domain. So you can take help from those people, and you can bring out something very useful for them. So listening is something which is important, and it should be on your top priority all the time. And all the areas you have to listen to the people. So let's move with another tip and technique. So I was telling that we all need people who will give us feedback, and that's how we can improve. This was the statement given by Bill Gates, and Bill Gates was a wonderful person. You know how successful he is. This is something from this person, and feedback is really very, very much important in our real life. This is how we come to the end of this session, and I would like to again key it out what we have learned today. So in the beginning I told you that how important it is to learn paraphrasing. We understood that what is the knowledge of antonym, what is the knowledge of synonym, how paraphrasing technique can help you, how business vocabulary can help you. And the only thing which I want to focus at this level, that it has turned very, very important, that now the time has come when any aspirant who is trying to improve his business English, he has to dwell on all the areas where business English is there. I have seen candidates who are applying for jobs in bank, and their test is made that whether that candidate is familiar with the English language uses. After that, if he has to work in a hotel, after that, he okay with the listening part, right? So if he has to be in a customer care department in big multinational companies, so is he familiar with the listening part? If he has to work in a legal firm, is he okay with the listening part? Railway, tourism, any sector, listening is the key for any successful communication to take place. Wonders are there, people are doing it, listening is there, listening has to be there, but focusing on the correct methodology, like I focused today in my section, that how that general phrase can be replaced with business English phrases. So cutting corners, we don't know in general English, we haven't seen that what is cutting corners, but we know in business English that what is cutting corners, when you're not giving your best, so that is your cutting corners. My employees are cutting corners, they are not giving their best. So it's all about the familiarity of the language. The more you dip yourself, the more you dip into the ocean of English language, into the ocean of listening, you are going to come with so many good English vocabulary. Dear candidates, I'm here to talk about one of the most important skill, that listening. Listening has really helped candidates to be a better presenter, to be a better speaker at workplaces, because listening is something which is input. When you are listening, so many things are going out into your ears. So automatically your performance level is going to be high when you will speak. I am speaking, that means I have listened something. You are speaking, that means you have listened something. You have come across so many good aspects of listening. So time and again you will come across so many listening phrases. So I want my candidates, all of you who are listening me here right now, that I'm sure you're going to be a self motivator. You're going to reward yourself, you're going to record yourself, you're going to give your rewards, you're going to keep listening on your priority list, you're going to keep pace with all the business English communication, you're going to surround yourself with all the business English vocabulary, whether it is to aviation sector, whether it is to sales, whether it is marketing, whether it is law, whether it's advertisement, all the industry, whether it's any commercials. So you will go across all the sections where you can dwell on, where you can dig on. So extra digging is required, extra listening is required to come up with these skills. And if you do so, you will come out with something very beautiful. And this beautiful journey of listening, and you enjoy this beautiful journey, make sure you listen something very good, make sure you listen something which will add value addition to your life, listen something which can bring a change in your knowledge in terms of your profession, listen something which can help us in our journey of this business proficiency, right? Listen something which can help you to deal better in a better way with the clients. Listen something to help you yourself in all the aspects. So that's all. Thank you so much. See you in the next episode.